Good morning. Welcome to Gentle Yoga this morning. My name is Lydia, and I'll be guiding you through begin to lift up through the crown of your head and tuck your chin slightly. You can close your eyes here. Give a nice soft gaze toward the floor. On your next inhale, start to draw the shoulders nice and close to the ears. And then exhale through the mouth and release. Inhale, drawing the shoulders close to the ears. Exhale, release. One more time. From here, breathing in and out through the nose, draw your shoulders back and down. Start to notice the quality of your breath. And before we move into three-part breath, just taking one last moment to lengthen the spine by lifting up through the crown of your head. Tucking the chin slightly and drawing the shoulders back and down. From here, starting to allow that exhale to be slightly longer. So nice deep inhales, filling the belly, allowing the rib cage to expand, and noticing your chest rise. Longer exhales here, allowing chest to lower, ribs to hug, and gently drawing the navel toward the spine. Keep going, filling up on your inhales. And drawing the navel in on exhales. Few more rounds of breath here. After your last exhale, gently blinking the eyes open. Go ahead and switch your feet. Readjust your seat. Bring your hands to your shoulders. And we'll just start to make some circles here. So exhaling as you draw the elbows together. Inhale, opening up. Continuing to use the breath throughout your practice. And switch directions. Release your hands, maybe shake out the hands for just a moment. We'll just do a few movements with the neck here. So exhale as you drop your chin to chest, hands on the knees or thighs. And then inhale, roll your right ear over your right shoulder. Draw your left shoulder back and down to create some space here in the neck. And let's take maybe 2 or 3 breaths. Starting to open that space. And then turn your gaze to look towards your mat. So still working on the same side of the neck. Just a little different area here. Breathing into those tight spaces. Exhale, roll left ear over to the right shoulder. Left shoulder, draw your right shoulder back and down. And just breathing into the neck here. Again, just opening up those tight spaces. And then turning your gaze towards your mat. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, make your way back up to center. Few shoulder rolls here, back and forward. Let's bring our hands together. Interlace the fingers. Forearms come together. Lift the elbows and start to make some circles with the wrists. So full circles all the way around. Just moving in one direction here, nice and slow. Just really start to notice where you have any tightness in the wrists. And start to move through that tightness, opening up the body. Switch directions. And then inhale, start to press through the palms. Round your shoulders, drop your chin to chest. Exhale, release. Reinterlace the fingers behind you and start to press down through the tops of the hands. Lift up through the heart. Keep the gaze forward or even a little higher, whatever feels good. And then exhale, release from here. Bring your hands back to your knees and we'll just start to do a few cat-cow from seated. So you're going to start to inhale, lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, chin comes to chest, round the spine. Inhale, back to neutral. Exhale. Inhale, lift up through your heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, round the spine, chin comes to chest. Inhale, come on back to neutral, and let's do that one more time. Inhale, lift up through the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, chin to chest, round the spine, tuck the tailbone slightly. And then inhale back to neutral. Let's turn to face the top of the mat here. And we're going to use the blanket, or you can use the blanket if you need it. Otherwise, you can scoot it out of the way. And we're just going to come into pardon me. We're going to go ahead and sit with your spine nice and tall, and then bring the soles of your feet together. So from here, depending on any tightness or any issues with the knees, if you bring the heels a little closer to the body, that can, well, I'd like for you to think about what feels best to you. So you don't want to feel any pain in the knees. So you can think about bringing the heels closer to the body, or you can start to scoot them a little further away. And we're going to sit up nice and tall from here. So find what works best for you. We're going to sit up nice and tall from here. Inhale, lift up through your crown. And then exhale, start to hinge at your hip creases and fold forward. But keep your gaze forward for just a moment. Keep your arms relaxed. We're not pulling ourselves forward, but just allowing the body to fall where it's most comfortable, finding sort of an edge here in this pose. And then once you reach that edge where you feel like you can't come forward any further, then just go ahead and drop your head and allow your spine to round. We'll take 3 breaths here. And each exhale here, really drawing the navel in, emptying the lower lobes of the lungs. And then on your next inhale, just start to roll yourself back up. Try to come back up 1 vertebrae at a time. Your head will come up last. And give a few shoulder rolls. You can extend the legs for a moment if you'd like. Maybe give some love to the knees. and maybe even the thighs. So we're going to come back into that pose, and I'm just showing you what it looks like from both angles here. So the first time I did it with my heels nice and close to the body. Second time I'm going to do it with the feet a little further away. Soles of my feet are still together here. So again, you find what works best for your body. You don't want to feel any pain in the knees. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale. Exhale, again, hinging at your hip creases. Keep your gaze forward, finding the best place. And then when you find your edge and you're not able to fold forward anymore here, then if it feels good to you, you can start to drop the head. Allow the spine to round. Allow your arms to be nice and heavy here. And again, we'll take 3 breaths and try to focus on that exhale. See if you can allow that exhale to be slightly longer. On your next inhale, starting to walk the hands maybe up the knees or up the legs here, rolling yourself back up 1 vertebrae at a time. Head comes up last. Extend your legs out in front. Give a little love to the knees. Just some circular motions here around the knee joint. And up and down the thighs here a little. Be helpful, maybe even the hips. All right, so from here, we're going to move right into happy baby. And I'm just keeping my hips lifted here, just to help to keep my spine in more of a neutral alignment. And I'm going to turn to face you so you can see what this looks like from the front. So I'm going to extend my left leg, and I'm going to do what's called rock the baby with the right. So right knee is bent. I'm going to cradle my foot into the crook of my arm here, and also cradle the knee and the crook of my opposite arm, and then just bring my interlace my fingers together. And from here, we're sitting up nice and tall, lifting up through the crown of the head and just starting to rock a little side to side. Maybe flexing through the heel of the extended leg. And then maybe just holding the ankle here in the left hand. Maybe just holding the knee and holding the ankle. So whatever works for you. Breathing. And then from here, just hugging nice and close. Exhale as you hug this leg nice and close to the body, best you can. And then inhale, release. Extend that leg. We're going to bend the opposite knee here. Flex through the extended heel. We're going to bring the foot into the crook of the arm. And then the the knee into the crook of the arm here. Bringing fingers together, interlacing your fingers here. Again, rocking a little, keeping a nice long spine here. So keeping lifting up through the crown of the head. And again, if this is a little too much, you can always bring the foot or the ankle here and your hand and knee and hand and just move from here. So wherever you're most comfortable, whatever feels the best to you and where you're able to keep a nice long spine. And let's go ahead and hug that leg nice and close on your exhale. And then inhale, release to extend. Again, a little love to the knees and the thighs here. Again, sitting up nice and tall, we're just going to cross the right ankle just above the left thigh. And just start to make some circles here. Flex your right foot. And then start to make some circles around that knee, just massaging the knee joint. And then also the sole of the foot. So just working up and down the sole of your foot. Spreading the toes. Even massaging in between the bones and the foot and the top of the foot here. Giving a little circular motion around that heel. And then re-extend your right leg and let's do the opposite. So crossing left ankle just above the right knee. We'll start to make some circles around the knee joint. Giving a little massage up and down the sole of the foot. Spreading the toes nice and wide, massaging in between the bones of the foot. And some circular motions around the heel. Go ahead and re-extend that leg. And then just a few times moving the hands up and down the legs. All right. Maybe point and flex the feet a few times. And let's come off of the blanket and go ahead and face the top of your mat here. Move everything out of the way. We're going to come to the top of the mat with knees bent. Go ahead and grab behind your knees. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale. Exhale, lean back into your hands and start to tuck your tailbone. Make your way onto your back, drawing the knees to chest. Give a little rock side to side. And even a few knee circles here. Switch directions. All right, so from here, I'd like for you to cross your right ankle over your left. So your knees are still bent, your knees are drawn into the chest. Your head, shoulders, neck are nice and long on your mat. Your spine is nice and long on your mat. And then see if you can reach your feet. And then just give a little rock side to side here. We're just grabbing the feet. We're rocking a little side to side. If you can't reach your feet, that's okay. Just keep your ankles crossed and maybe just hugging just below the knees, just at the shins here, rocking a little side to side. And then uncross your ankles and switch so that left ankle is crossed over the right this time. And again, you can try to reach for your feet. Give a little rock side to side, or even just hug the knees and nice and close. Exhale, hug. Inhale, extend. So just bring your feet to your mat. We're going to bring our arms out to a T in line with the shoulders here. And crossing right knee over left knee. See if you can bring your right foot behind your left ankle. All right, so inhale from here at center. And then exhale and allow the knees to drop over to the left. So if you can't bring that right foot behind the left ankle, that's okay. The idea here is to keep the right shoulder on your mat and maybe even gazing over the right arm. Let's take 3 breaths. And then inhale, make your way back to center. Uncross your legs. Bring your feet out to either edge of your mat, and we're just going to windshield wiper the knees. So your knees are bent, your feet are out to either edge. Exhale, drop the knees. Inhale to center. Exhale toward the other side. And we'll just do that a few times at your own pace, moving with your breath. Inhale back to center. Scoot your feet a little closer together so that they're more hip distance. Arms come back out to a T in line with the shoulders. We're going to cross the left knee over the right this time, and then see if you can bring your left foot behind your right ankle. Inhale here at center. Exhale, allow the knees to drop over to the right this time, gazing over the right shoulder if it feels okay to the neck. Idea is again to keep that left shoulder on your mat. 3 breaths. Inhale your knees back to center. Uncross your legs. Bring your feet back out to either edge of your mat. Knees are still bent. Few windshield wipering of the knees again. Inhale your knees back to center. Scoot the feet a little closer together. We're going to exhale, roll over onto the side body. Knees are bent. As you inhale, start to press into your hand and forearm, make your way back up to seated. And we're going to come to the knees, hands and knees into a nice tabletop position for cat-cow here. So I'm going to just use my folded blanket under the knees for extra cushion. You're welcome to do the same. So we're here in our tabletop position, wrists under the shoulders, knees directly under the hip bones. Looking towards the top of the mat, take a nice deep inhale. Exhale and start to draw your navel towards your spine, protecting your low back. Inhale, lift up through the heart, look forward. Exhale, tuck your chin to chest, round your spine, tucking the tailbone, emptying out the lungs. Inhale, back to neutral. Exhale, draw your navel towards your spine. Inhale, lift up through the heart, look forward. Exhale, round, chin to chest, tuck your tailbone. Inhale, back to neutral. Exhale, draw the navel in. Inhale, lift up through the heart, look forward. Exhale, round, drop your chin to chest, drop your tailbone. Empty the lungs. Inhale, back to neutral. Exhale, press the hips back into child's pose. So from here, you can keep the knees nice and close, or you can even open the knees nice and wide. Allow the belly to drop between the knees. The forearms come to your mat. Tip of the forehead is resting on your mat. Let's take a few breaths here. Slide your hands back by your knees, and on your next inhale, start to press into the hands and roll yourself back up one vertebrae at a time. Your head will come up last. Let's move the blanket out of the way, and we're going to come on down to the belly. Go ahead and bring your forehead to your mat. Tops of the feet are relaxed on the mat. Bring your hands just under your shoulders here. And just start to rock and shake out the hips a little bit. On your next inhale, we're going to start to slide the hands forward and make our way into Sphinx pose. So elbows are directly under your shoulders. We're going to bring the hands a little wider than your elbows, and then spread your fingers nice and wide as you lift up through your heart and gaze forward. Try not to allow the head to sink down into the shoulders, but really lift up and out of the shoulders. And let's take 3 breaths here. On your next exhale, go ahead and release your head back down to your mat. Slide the hands back under the shoulders. Shake out the hips. And on your next inhale, again, we're going to come back into that Sphinx pose. Spreading the fingers nice and wide, lifting up through the heart, looking forward. From here, we're just going to bend the left knee. Again, making sure that we're not sinking down into the shoulders, but lifting up and out. Bending your left knee. On your next exhale, turn the head to gaze over the right shoulder and just see if you notice your left foot in your peripheral vision. Breathe. One more breath. And then inhale, come on back to center, release that foot back down to your mat. Go ahead and bring your forehead back down to your mat, hands under the shoulders. Rock, shake out the hips a little bit. And maybe even give a few shoulder rolls. Let's do the other side. So inhaling, sliding those hands back towards the top of your mat. Elbows come under the shoulders. Fingers are spread nice and wide, lifting up through the heart. Look forward. Take a breath here. We're going to bend the right knee this time. And on your next exhale, turning the head to gaze over the left shoulder. See if you can see just your right foot in your peripheral vision. One more breath. Inhale back to center, release that foot back down to your mat. On your next exhale, drop your forehead back down to your mat. Slide your hands under your shoulders and shake out the hips. From here, we're just going to keep the forehead on the mat. We're going to slide the arms forward. So you're reaching for the top of your mat, and then go ahead and bring your hands so that your palms are facing each other. Inhale. Exhale, start to draw your belly button toward your spine. One more time, inhale deeply. Exhale, draw your navel toward your spine. And on your next inhale, we're going to lift the right arm and the left leg and start to lift the gaze. So make sure your belly is nice and tight. You're protecting your low spine. On your next inhale, maybe just lift the left leg first. Point your toes. And then maybe start to lift the gaze on your next inhale, lifting that right arm. Gaze is forward. 3 breaths. And exhale, release. Bring Bring your forehead back down to your mat. You can shake out the hips a little bit here if you like. So if it's too much to lift opposite limbs, you can maybe just lift the arm and the gaze, or maybe just the leg. And so whatever feels good to you. Let's go ahead and do the other side. So take a nice deep inhale with forehead relaxed on your mat. Exhale, draw your navel toward your spine. We're protecting that low back. On your next inhale, we're lifting right leg, pointing through the toes, lifting left arm, and lifting the gaze, lifting up through the heart. Breathe. One more breath. Exhale, make your way back down onto your mat. Forehead resting on your mat. Draw your hands under the shoulders. So slide your hands back under the shoulders. Shake out the hips. On your next inhale, gently pressing into the hands, lifting the hips, pressing the hips back towards the heels into child's pose. So see if you can draw the knees a little closer together this time. Tip of your forehead is resting on your mat. Hips are sinking towards the heels. And then bring your arms down next to your knees with your palms facing up. Fully relaxing the shoulders here for 3 breaths. From here, sliding the hands beside the knees, palms down. On your next inhale, start to roll yourself back up, 1 vertebrae at a time. Your head will come up last. A few shoulder rolls here, back and forward. And then go ahead and make your way back towards the center of your mat. You can bring your blanket to sit on, legs crossed. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale through the mouth. And just making your way back into a normal breathing pattern from here. Bringing the hands together at heart center. Thank you all so much for sharing this gentle practice with me this morning. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Namaste.